The five Buddha families seems to be something that always comes up in questions or in discussion. The five Buddha families in art can be found primarily as secondary figures in late art. In early art I mean 12th, 13th, 14th century, then we can find it as a central figure. We can find a Buddha. But who are these five Buddhas we're talking about? There's many different kinds of Buddhas. There's many different classifications. There's Buddha of the past, the present, the future, Buddhas of the 10 directions, 8 medicine Buddhas, 1,000 Buddhas of this age, the 12 Dzogchen Buddhas. We can have even 12 Buddhas. There's many different systems coming out of many different texts, but what we really have to do is we have to divide these systems immediately into, well, what's sutra and what's tantra. Medicine Buddha, a bit of a crossover, but we call it mostly Kriya Tantra. 35 confession Buddhas, definitely Mahayana Buddhism, that's sutra. So who are these five Buddhas that often come up in conversation? Well, really they're the Tantric Buddhas. Now these Buddhas do not even actually have Buddha appearance. These Buddhas appear as peaceful deities, youthful, with a consort generally, wearing ornaments, crowns, hair piled up on the top of the head, some falling loose, wearing heavenly garments. So we have these five Buddhas. Where do they come from? Well, really, these five come out of the Yoga and Yoganiruttara tantras, the third and fourth classifications of Tantra. In the Kriya and Charya Tantra classifications, we actually only have 3 families of Buddhas. We have Tathagata, Padma, and Vajra. Once you get into Yoga Tantra, then we really begin to see the development of these 5 Buddhas, which are also called the Buddhas of the 5 directions or 5 directional Buddhas. And then what you also find in Buddhist texts and in Buddhist teachings and from various people is you find a conflation kind of little bit between sutra and tantra. So the Padma family of the Yoga and anuttarayoga Tantra, the Padma family is usually associated with Nangwatai or Amitabha, and then you immediately associate that with the sutra, the 2 sutras of Amitabha and the Pure Land of Sukhavati. So then there's this merging, there's this conflation of systems of teaching. So the 5 Buddhas are basically Vairochana, Akshobhya, Amitabha, Ratnasambhava, and Amoghasiddhi. And these play a role in tantric theory, and they play a large role in tantric initiation on the yoga and 4th level, highest yoga tantra. So they're often depicted in paintings and murals since the 15th century. They're depicted as secondary figures. They're not depicted as primary figures. Yes, you can have individual Buddhas that are being highlighted, Amitabha or Akshobhya at various times. But when they're a group, they're secondary figures because they play a role in the tantric theories of each of the major tantric cycle practices, such as Kala Chakra, He Vajra, Chakra Samvara, Guhya Samaja. They play a major role in the initiation. They also play a role in the theory of practice. They play a role in understanding the 5 skandhas that make up the human. They play a role in the 5 wisdoms and leading to complete enlightenment. So, there was a famous Lama back in the 13th century. He was asked by a Kadampa Geshe, well, what is the meaning of these 5 Tantric Buddhas? And then the teacher responded, oh, they're symbolic. Now, I must say I read that text about 20 years ago, and I've not been able to find the Tibetan text since. But I will look, because I thought that was very important and very interesting the way he said that. They're symbolic. They're part of the initiation, and they're part of the meditation practice. And that's how they should be looked at.